France exposed Ireland's fragility as aura evaporates. In Paris, the decisive moment of Ireland's opening round defeat in Paris did not arrive with a thunderous try, a crunching tackle, or a moment of French brilliance, though there were plenty of those. Instead, it came in the stillness that followed the final whistle. In the hush of Stade de France, the noise of Ireland's collapse rang loudest. Andy Farrell, visibly shaken, stepped away from the interview booth, having delivered a public assessment rarely heard from him. Words like lacked intent and reacting too late landed with a thud. This was not the usual defiant Farrell, protecting his group and deflecting criticism. This was a coach alarmed by what he had just witnessed. Moments later, pitch side, Brian O'Driscoll stood zipped into a dark puffer jacket against the Parisian cold. If he is not Ireland's greatest ever player, he is at least a central pillar of the conversation. Asked by ITV's Jill Douglas to react to Farrell's blunt diagnosis, O'Driscoll paused, inhaled, and delivered something close to a warning. "What concerns me," he said, "is that now there's a vulnerability to this team." It was a sentence that would have seemed unthinkable not long ago. From fortress to fault line for years, Ireland's defining characteristic was certainty. Certainty in selection, certainty in system, certainty in belief. Opponents did not merely have to beat them, they had to survive them. That aura has now cracked, that O'Driscoll continued. Other sides will be looking at us and think, this is nothing like the Irish team that was at the World Cup in Paris 2 years ago. This is a team very much in transition, and there are scalps to be had. The timing of that vulnerability is crucial. Italy visit Dublin next, followed by sterner examinations that will smell opportunity where once there was intimidation. There will be teams thinking, we can actually beat this Irish team, O'Driscoll added, a thought that simply did not exist in recent seasons. The numbers tell a brutal story. A year after conceding 34 unanswered points to France at the Aviva, Ireland shipped 29 without reply in Paris. With nearly an hour played, they had yet to register a single point. This was not a narrow defeat or a late collapse. It was systemic domination at a night that unraveled early. This historic first Thursday night match of a Six Nations tournament began with an ominous warning. France's opening attack inside 2 minutes should have produced a try, only for Charles Ollivant to knock on with a line begging. It proved merely a delay. Louis Bielle-Biarrey crossed soon after, finishing with the effortless grace that would come to define his evening. On 22 minutes, Matthew Jalabert added a second, conjuring space where none appeared to exist. When Ollivant atoned for his earlier error shortly after the half-hour mark, it was 19-0, and Ireland were nowhere, physically, tactically, or emotionally. For the first time since Twickenham in 2020, Ireland failed to score a point before halftime. By the time Bielle-Biarrey claimed his second try, France had secured a bonus point and mentally checked out. The contest was over long before the scoreboard said, so to Farrell's rare public reckoning, Farrell did not sugarcoat the performance. "You make your own luck in this game," he said. "Without the ball, I thought we lost that intensity battle in the first half. The high ball, the scraps on the floor, running through tackles, missing tackles, that's the main part of our game." That list reads like a dismantling of Ireland's identity. We certainly came off second best in that regard. Our response was gallant, but that's not what we want to be. We don't want to be a responding team. We needed to show it from the get-go. It was as close as Farrell has come to questioning the competitive DNA of his side in public. The collapse of an aura in the space of 2 matches, Ireland's aura has evaporated. 12 months ago, they were reigning Six Nations champions and ranked second in the world. Now they look stripped of punch, pace, and certainty. South Africa scrummaged them into oblivion on the final weekend of autumn. France ripped them apart with ball in hand on the opening night of spring. Different opponents, same outcome. What makes this defeat particularly alarming is that Ireland knew exactly what was coming. Sean Edwards, never one for subtlety, practically drew the blueprint beforehand, stating France's objectives for the evening were ambition and excitement. France delivered both in abundance. This was not just tactical supremacy, it was emotional. Mako Vunipola had warned earlier in the week that France would bring something extra, following the national outpouring of support after Winnie Antonio's heart attack and enforced retirement. The French pack played like men fueled by purpose. Add to that Antoine Dupont's first Six Nations start since rupturing his ACL against Ireland, in circumstances that left scars, and the narrative almost wrote itself. Passive, porous, punished Ireland captain Caelan Doris did not shy away from the truth. "We were pretty passive defensively," he admitted. 19 missed tackles and a number of soak tackles allowed them to flourish with their keep ball alive game. The opening half hour was decisive. We couldn't find our feet. We allowed them to get phases and score. It was the collisions that let us down. For a team built on winning collisions and suffocating opponents, it was a damning admission. If you want to win a championship, you need strong defense. We didn't have that today. We have a lot of lessons to learn. France's golden generation. Again, it would be a mistake to reduce this result solely to Ireland's failings. France were magnificent, fluid, ruthless, expressive. Jalibert and Dupont dictated terms at halfback. Nicolas Deporter sliced through midfield. Thomas Ramos glided at the back. Bielle-Biarrey played as though operating on a different plane of speed. Up front, Michael Gillard was colossal. This is a side stacked with match winners, capable of beating anyone when fully engaged. Fabien Galthy has assembled a squad brimming with talent and depth, and when their emotional dial is turned up, few can live with them without a faint flicker of resistance, and yet, rugby rarely deals in absolutes. As dreadful as Ireland were, they still managed to draw the second half. France, comfortably ahead, eased off. Had Ronan Kelleher's try not been ruled out for a knock-on, Ireland would have scored 3 tries in 14 minutes and injected genuine tension into a contest that had long appeared settled. That late surge does not rewrite the night, but it does complicate the narrative France had knocked off early. Ireland belatedly found some rhythm. It was too little, far too late, but it matters in a tournament defined by momentum. The danger ahead, the implications stretch beyond Paris. That it is hard to imagine England not feasting on similar complacency should it appear on the final weekend. Scotland at Mayfield in round 4 will sense blood too. This Six Nations offers no refuge. That is its enduring beauty and cruelty. A championship can pivot on one performance, one half, one emotional swing, which is why Farrell returns to Dublin beaten but not broken. There remains enough quality, leadership, and institutional knowledge within this group to respond. Transition does not have to mean regression, but denial would be fatal to AS for Galthy. He will rightly savor this victory, yet he knows better than to start popping Dom Perignon in February. France have danced this dance before, brilliance followed by inconsistency. For now, though, the message from Paris is unmistakable. Ireland are no longer untouchable. France are resurgent. And the Six Nations, once again, is alive with possibility.